In a quiet town where every day was the same, a boy named Kai was born. He was not like the other babies. From the very first day, everyone could see he was special. His arms were thick, his legs were powerful, his tiny hands could grip with surprising strength. The doctors and nurses had never seen anything like it. They looked at him with wide eyes. Kai was a baby born with the muscles of a champion. He was a little titan, a small giant. The whole town talked about the boy with the incredible body, a true wonder of nature. As Kai grew, so did his muscles. At 5 years old, he could lift things that grown men struggled with. He could carry heavy bags of groceries for his mother without any problem. He could move furniture around the house just for fun. The other kids would watch him play in the schoolyard, their mouths open in amazement. They saw him climb higher and run faster. He was stronger than anyone they knew, stronger than their fathers or big brothers. His power was amazing, a sight to behold in their small, ordinary town. But his strength was also a little scary to some people. The townspeople would whisper when he walked by. They were not used to seeing such power in a young boy. They worried he might not know how to control it. They saw the size of his muscles and felt a mix of wonder and fear. Kai was different, and in a small town, being different can be hard. He was a local legend, but he was also an outsider. He was the boy everyone knew, but nobody truly understood. Kai felt their stares. He saw the way they would step back when he came near. He was just a boy who wanted to play, but his own body made things complicated. He was proud of his strength, but he also wished he could just be like everyone else sometimes. He wanted to fit in, to have friends who saw him for who he was, not just for his giant muscles. His incredible gift felt like a heavy weight on his young shoulders. He was a titan in a world that was not ready for him, a boy with a big body and an even bigger heart. Growing up was not easy for Kai. The other children were often afraid to play with him. They worried he might accidentally hurt them during a game of tag or hide and seek. So Kai spent many afternoons alone. He would sit by himself, watching the other kids laugh and run together. He longed to join them, to be part of their games and their friendships. But his unusual size created a wall between him and them. The loneliness was heavy, sometimes heavier than any weight he could lift. He felt like a giant in a world made for smaller people. He tried his best to be gentle. He learned to control his movements, to be careful with his incredible power. But the fear in people's eyes remained. In class, teachers would call on him to move heavy desks, but they would hesitate to ask him to help with delicate things. He was seen as a source of brute force, not as a boy with feelings and thoughts. This made him feel isolated, as if his muscles were the only thing people saw. He wanted them to see the real Kai, the kind and gentle boy inside the powerful body. His home was his only safe place. His parents loved him for who he was. They knew his kind heart and his gentle spirit. They encouraged him to be proud of his gift, to see it as something special. But outside his front door, the world was different. The whispers and the stares followed him everywhere. He would walk through town with his head down, trying to make himself smaller, which was impossible. The loneliness became a shadow that was always with him, a constant reminder that he was different from everyone else in his small town. As a teenager, the feeling of being an outsider grew even stronger. He saw other boys making friends, going to parties and being part of a team. Kai was on the outside looking in. His muscles, which were now even bigger and more defined, made him a spectacle. People would point and take pictures. He felt more like a circus attraction than a person. He started to believe that he would always be alone, defined only by his physical appearance. He needed someone to see past his muscles and understand the person within. One day everything changed. An old man named Marcus moved into the town. He was a retired coach who had trained some of the greatest athletes in the world. He saw Kai lifting heavy stones in a field, not for show, but with focus and determination. Marcus didn't see a spectacle, he saw incredible potential. He walked over to Kai, not with fear, but with a look of deep respect. He saw the boy's raw power, but he also saw the loneliness in his eyes. Marcus knew he had found someone truly special, a diamond in the rough. Marcus introduced himself and started talking to Kai. He didn't talk about Kai's size. He talked about strength, discipline, and purpose. He told Kai that his body was a gift, not a curse. He explained that true strength was not just about lifting heavy things, but about controlling that power. For the first time, someone was looking at Kai and seeing a champion, not a freak. Kai felt a spark of hope. He listened to every word the old coach said, feeling a connection he had never felt before. Marcus became Kai's mentor and friend. He created a unique training program just for Kai. They didn't just use weights, they used everything around them. Kai lifted giant logs, pulled old cars, and carried huge rocks up a hill. Marcus taught him that the world could be his gym. He pushed Kai to his limits, but he also taught him control and technique. He showed Kai how to channel his immense power into precise, controlled movements. The training was incredibly hard, but Kai loved every minute of it. He was finally using his strength for a purpose. With every training session, Kai grew stronger, not just in his body, but in his mind. He learned to be confident in his own skin. He no longer saw his muscles as a wall that separated him from others. He saw them as a tool, a part of who he was. Marcus taught him that his real power came from his heart and his spirit. Kai started to walk with his head held high. The whispers in the town didn't bother him anymore. He had found his path, and he was ready to show the world what he could do. The day came for Kai to enter his first bodybuilding competition. When he walked onto the stage, the crowd went silent. They had never seen a physique like his. His muscles were colossal, perfectly sculpted, a work of art forged through years of hard work and dedication. He was bigger and stronger than any competitor they had ever witnessed. He moved with a grace and confidence that captivated everyone. When he struck his first pose, the audience erupted in cheers. They were witnessing the arrival of a living legend. Kai dominated the world of bodybuilding. He broke records that people thought were unbreakable. He lifted weights that seemed impossible. But it wasn't just his size and strength that amazed people, it was his spirit. On stage, he was a powerful titan, but off stage he was kind, humble, and always had a smile for his fans. He remembered what it felt like to be an outsider, so he always took time to talk to people, to inspire them, and to make them feel seen. He showed the world that true strength is about having a big heart, not just big muscles. He became more than just a bodybuilding champion. He became a symbol of hope. His story inspired millions of people around the globe. People who felt different, people who felt alone, looked at Kai and saw that it was okay to be unique. They saw that you could turn what makes you different into your greatest strength. Kai's journey from a lonely boy in a small town to a global icon was a powerful reminder that anything is possible when you believe in yourself. His legacy was built on muscle, but it was defined by his kindness and character. Kai taught us all a valuable lesson. He showed us that we should never be ashamed of who we are. We should embrace what makes us special. His life proves that with hard work, a strong belief in yourself, and a little help from a good mentor, you can overcome any obstacle. He turned his biggest challenge into his greatest victory. Kai, the colossal legend, reminded the world that our true power comes from accepting ourselves and using our unique gifts to inspire others. He was a champion in every sense of the word.